Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to the next normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. What a big topic today. I almost feel like we should do a series on it. And I'll tell you why it got stimulated in my awareness. Yesterday, you might have seen the show I did with Dr. Pratap on healthcare. And I really didn't go deep into it. And even the video we showed of the hospital was only on its work with COVID. You didn't even get a chance to see the real hospital and the power of this hospital. Anyway, this morning when I got up for my meditation, he came into my mind. And I started to see his virtues, his qualities, his humility. And then I was thinking to myself, what is it that makes whatever he does such a grand success? And it was his humility, not his ego. And if I were to ever tell you how many accomplishments this soul has, you wouldn't even imagine. And yet to still be a physician and doing the work that he was doing. If you get a chance, go back and watch that show. It was really an incredible offering. And there are all kinds of people. Even in myself, I work with my, whatever ego still left in me. I don't even like to even believe that I have ego in me, but I do. And I have seen where it creates obstacles and challenges and difficulties in relationships. And every time we feed the ego more and more, it starts to become our nature. Means it's natural. We're not even aware that it's the ego that is present in this moment in our lives. For example, I could ask somebody, could you get me a glass of water? The person's like, no, you get it yourself. Okay, fine. They're right. Why am I asking them for a glass of water for myself? But then I watch the way I respond or react to it. Oh my God, this person, this, that. They're always like that. Again, ego for ego, tit for tat. Nobody's free of this energy, of this enemy within. In our last US presidential run, one of the candidates kept talking about the enemies within. And it starts inside of the soul. This disease, this dis-ease of the ego. And the way it ruins us to accomplish and to establish our fortune. Now, some of you will say, well, ego is good. No, Sister Jenna. I mean, it pushes me. I'm building my company, or I'm building a country, or I'm trying to build my family. This is my wife, my husband, my kids, my house, my car. All of that is ego identity. But when you feel an attachment to the identity, you push yourself to accomplish and to build and to make it into something that you are envisioning as the thing, the place to be. There was, the girls were telling me about a story about a Federal Express plane accident with a guy who was stranded on an island, and all he drank was coconut or coconut water or whatever, but he only had himself. And it made me start to think, if there's no one around, does my ego exist? Is there any challenge? Who do I compare myself to? Who do I judge? Who do I criticize if there's no one around? I'm just asking you to think about it. I'm not giving you an answer. But from my spiritual tradition, there are a few things that have come out for me that I'm pulled, my attention is pulled time and time again towards it. One, ego is an attachment to a false identity. Just give that a thought for a moment. Ego is an attachment to a false identity. My name, body, gender, role, title, yes, they are real, but they're limited. And whatever is false doesn't last forever. It's temporary. It's not permanent. But I'm a soul, and the soul is eternal. So when the soul enters the body and it begins to believe the body is this name, gender, role tied to religion, it develops ego, which is an attachment to a false identity. I am Jenna. I am a woman. I am Indian. I am black. I am an American. I am an immigrant. I am rich. I am poor. I am short. I am tall. I am ugly. I am beautiful. I am fat. I am skinny. Belief systems which are temporary. But the soul isn't temporary. The soul is unlimited. It's eternal. So I want us to start to explore this enemy that's within us, this ego that takes away my fortune of opportunities to come to me and to be happier in life. Like I saw in Dr. Pratap. The way he moves, his accuracy, the way he carried himself was such an inspiration. I kept looking at him. That's the kind of a humbleness the world needs today, and I want it for myself. To be a humble person that God can use to really invite souls into their power, into their goodness. I kept thinking about my own life as I watched that soul. And I said, what a rare breed he is. And because of his humility, God has been able to use him so big. So big. And that's what I want us to get out of today's Next Normal. Santosh, if you can just help to put the screen on for me. Let's just take a look at the secret enemy of ego. And for those of you that are watching, just feel free to write it down on a piece of paper, take a screenshot. And all of this is coming up. It's duplicated though, Santosh. Could you delete attachment to false identity? Because it's already said. Just go back and delete it. So let's take a look at what's happening to all 8 billion of us. Even if you're a brand new baby, you're being born with certain tendencies of your past life. But let's take a look at ourselves now. Ego. It is an attachment to a false identity. So Santosh, type in name for me at the bottom. Yeah, name. Okay, let's take a look at our names. If somebody calls me by a different name, let's say they make a bad word, you are a piece of crap, then you realize, but that's not my name. Why are they calling me crap? My name is Jenna. You're going to get hurt. Sometimes people will say, oh, you know, she's fat. And you go, wait, that's not my name. My name is Jenna. Sometimes people will call you, oh, you know, she's not black, she's not Indian, she's not white, she's mixed up. Oh, but that's not my name. And then I start to feel hurt. People are putting names to me that don't belong to my name. I'm Jenna. My name is Jenna. She's Jenna. Call me Jenna. Gift from God. Paradise. Heaven is the meaning of my name. Call me that, then say, oh, she's like heaven. Oh, yes, I am. I'm Jenna. Oh, she's a gift from God. Yes, that is my name. Yes. Like when I look at a gift from God, I can see that's eternal, so that's not ego. But when somebody says she's crap or she's nothing or she does this, and I get attached to that identity, I walk with that feeling, oh, my mother says I was never going to amount to be anything good, but that's not your name. Your name has a meaning. There's something about you at a soul level that's more powerful and more important than believing in a false identity of the self. Our names limit our interpretation of the self. But if you look for the spiritual understanding of your name, then you move into what is the opposite to ego, truth or wisdom. Could we put that down, Santosh? Opposite to ego is truth or wisdom. So I'm going to invite you to think about that. What is your truth and the wisdom that is within you? When somebody says, Sister Jenna, the truth is, I am a gift from God. There's no problem being attached to that which is unlimited. But if somebody calls me, hi Jenna, oh my God, she's no good, she'll never amount to be anything good, and I attach myself to that, that's my ego growing in me. For 5 years, 20 years, I still feel it. For 50 years, I leave my body, I die, I'm going to another body, I end up being born with this low self-esteem. Nobody gave it to me, I just have it. Let's take a look at gender now. Type in gender, male or female. Many of us have an attachment to our gender, to such an extent that now people are reversing their gender. Now in the LGBTQIA community, a lot of souls are trying to find a comfort in the gender that they're in. I'm attached to my gender as a woman, but internally I feel like a man. So I see my body as a woman, but my attachment or my ego identity is more connected to being the opposite gender of what I see. So internally at a soul level, okay, listen to me here. Okay, I look like a woman. Okay, I see that. I have an attachment to my body. I don't like this body. My ego identity in the soul says, but I'm a man. I want to do things like a man. I feel more like a male. But this female body I'm in, I don't like it. Like and dislike is connected to attachment. When you're attached to something, you either like it or dislike it. When you love something, you accept it as it is. So with my gender, I have ego with it. I'm attached to a false identity, and when I go into the soul, I feel like a different person than what I'm seeing. And I start to serve the ego of the attachment of that gender or that role, even though it doesn't match what everybody sees here. Are you with me? Are you with me? We're souls on a journey. We're trying to find balance. We change our gender, or we will say a woman is supposed to only do this. Maybe that's why America will not vote a woman president in, no matter how good or qualified they are. Or you look at a man or a male and you go, a male is supposed to provide, to be strong, to be a protector of the family, and maybe he's not. So you look at a gender of a person and you define in your intellect, a woman is supposed to do this. A man is supposed to do this. It's all ego and attachment, by the way. So the woman has the kids, cleans the house, and cooks. But now because everything is out of balance, she also has to go to work to provide for the family because there isn't enough money to keep everything going. Or maybe she's educated and she just has it in her. She wants to go and earn her own way. Let's say a man, for example. He expects to be cared for by his wife or his woman. He goes out, he makes the money. He comes into the house, makes sure the kids are provided financially, and he's settled. What if he doesn't know how to make the money? What if the money isn't enough? What if he's not able to get a job? Then he stays home and takes care of the kids. When he talks to his friends and the family, oh, you don't work? You're an at-home dad? People go, that doesn't even make sense, because we're so attached to our gender. Let's go to role and title, Santosh. So this creates a lot of conflict in the workplace, in the family, with friends, in your cities, in your countries. I'm the President of the United States. I can do whatever I want. It doesn't matter how many lives are benefited, how many lives are actually suffering. I am the President of the United States. It stops here with me. Forget about you. I'm the President of Italy. I'm the President of India. I'm the President. Listen to me. Everything falls with me. It's the end. But the people in the slums are dying. Maybe immigrants are dying. Maybe children are dying. Maybe a certain race or a certain pigmentation of people aren't getting the support that others are getting. But you're the President of Bharat, India, China, Russia, America. And there are still people in your country that are suffering because of your ego attachment to your role in your title, which takes away your compassion, your empathy, your godliness, your divinity. And there's so much confusion. But if we broke the attachment and the ego identity to role and title, and we considered ourselves to be souls playing a part, and that at this time, I, the soul, am God's instrument, and I've been given the role and the part to be the president of this nation, the president of this country. I want all people to be all right. Let me find a method. Let me use my power to find a method. How can I make all Indians have enough to live on? For their health to be okay? For education to be offered to everyone? How, as the President of the United States, can I make people feel safe, secured, seen, valued? Because when the soul is connected to a higher call, a divine call, then you think about the empathy and the care of others, because ego will make people suffer. Ego will make you suffer. An attachment will make you live in fear. An attachment will make others be in fear. So you can see how it's a secret enemy, because nobody knows that because of their own thinking and their own recording inside, that's their own enemy. It's not a person. It's not a president. It's not a country. It's not your next door neighbor. It's your own internal thinking process. So the opposite to ego, Santosh, again, is you have it, it's truth, but the opposite to attachment, write down the opposite to attachment, is love, acceptance. Are you able to love your enemy? So when you love the enemy of the ego, you will transform the power of the ego within you into truth and wisdom. Because one of the things that ego is very uncomfortable with is love. And the ego in the soul thrives when there is attachment. Both of them have a contract. One's the president, one's the vice president. They both have a deal. This is what we're going to do. Suffering, hell, fear, violence, dominance, control, insecurity, emptiness. I'm the only one. Who cares about others? And they become very isolated. So ego and attachment will isolate you from people because it starts to make you think you're the only one who knows what you're doing and you're the only one that's right. Take a look at it. You will not have good relationships if you have a lot of ego and attachment. Look at your own life. A person with ego is isolated. A person with attachment is in fear. And both are together. The opposite to ego, truth and wisdom. If I live truthfully and with wisdom, I can see where there's a solution for everyone to be okay. The opposite to attachment is love. Wow. Love will know what you need before you even ask for it. It's the heart of the matter. So just a little experiment. This is just the tip of the iceberg of ego and attachment. We can go so deep into it, but what I have known from my own life, if I'm in a lot of ego and attachment, I'm very limited. No is very easy, yes is very hard. And each time I say a no, my fortune for my future is adding up in an account where it gets reduced. Each time I say yes for something good for humanity, I know intuitively my fortune for the future is increasing. Always keep that as a memory, okay? All right. Let's take a pause, and I'll allow Santosh to put on the awakened intelligence in a moment. And just think about yourselves for a little bit. Where are you with your life and your journey? How are you? So when you look at what is ego according to the Brahma Kumaris, it's understood as a false identification with anything other than the true self. Well, that's good. Here's how ego is explained. True identity versus false. The soul is the real self, eternal, peaceful, pure, loving, and powerful. Ego arises when the soul forgets its true identity and starts to identify with body, role, possession, talents, beliefs, or labels. So this identification leads to attachment, pride, fear, and sorrow, because these are all external things and they're temporary. So now ego creates suffering. It teaches that ego is the root of most emotional pain. When our role or status is challenged, ego feels hurt. When someone criticizes us, ego feels attacked. When we compare ourselves to others, ego breeds jealousy or inferiority. Keep going, overcoming our ego, which is today's thing. To dissolve ego, realize the self as a soul. Connect to the Supreme Soul, God. Practice humility and self-respect and detachment from external labels. And a quote from BK Teachings, and this will be the end. Ego is an illusion of the self based on temporary labels. When you recognize your eternal identity as a soul, ego fades away and your true self-respect will emerge. It's so beautiful. Did you enjoy today's thing on ego? Somebody who was egoless was our beautiful Sister Gita. What an amazing soul. Would you like to hear a little bit of her sharings of wisdom? Here is the Sister Gita effect.
I am extracting this reading from the book Feeling Great by Daddy Yankee, and I'm being reminded that there are 4 ways we forget how to feel great. One of them is forgetfulness, one is illusion, the next is busyness, and the next is disconnection to the source. Whatever part I'm playing, whatever is going on with me at the moment, accept it, and it opened up a light, came up in me. So one of the ways to get back, there are 5 ways. I'm going to read the idea of recognize that you have a recurring upheaval or problem. Admit to the self that something in you keeps coming back, irrespective of the person or situation that triggers the reaction. For example, you might feel unappreciated, misused, disregarded, unable to find cooperative person. You might have economic problems or feel rejected or resentful. This is not about projecting blame onto others or situations. Recognize. It is about recognizing that everything good or bad begins with the self. This brings a great liberation because you know that you have all the inner resources to solve anything that has its roots in yourself. Although you can seek cooperation from others, ultimately you have to do what needs to be done yourself. Acknowledge that the source of pain requires a change in your attitudes, thoughts, and perception. When you take this responsibility, you will stop feeling guilty, and instead, you will feel free to choose where you want to go and what direction your life will move in. Honesty with the self never makes you feel guilty. Instead, it makes you feel great because at last you have the courage to face yourself, and you have the faith that by practicing positive thoughts, your world will change for the better. Please recognize. Thank you. Have a feeling great day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for another wonderful program that's going to help us to be better people. Let's see how we can transform ego into self-respect and truthfulness and wisdom, which is to become this really true, loving, caring person, this person with power, wisdom, and transform attachment and fear into love and acceptance. Take care. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.